Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is odd for me to be live on a what is it, Tuesday? But like the title says, Zilch, it's just gonna be a show about nothing. Whatever anyone wants to talk about. I just had a little bit of downtime, and I figured, hey, let me do a quick little live while dinner's cooking, and just see what's on everyone's mind. I know there's a lot of drama, a lot of crap going on right now, and whatever side you're on, hey, either you're happy, you're upset. I get it. I get everyone's feelings towards this subject. And I really don't know what. Excuse me, I'm just taking off my shoes real quick. I just got home. Hey, what's going on, Nadia? I'm feeling a little bit green. Let's do a light blue. I'm feeling like a little bit of a light blue episode tonight. Just something chill. Or maybe yellow. Blue. Let's just do like a rainbow of colors here. Winner, 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 winner. Um, like I said, I just had some downtime. Just wanted to chill with you all, see what's going on your all's mind. As for me, I'm just doing a little bit of online shopping. Mother's Day is right around the corner. Tomorrow, if you go by, Hispanic heritage, I'm choosing not to, so I could buy myself a couple of extra days here and celebrate it on Sunday. So yeah, hey, what's going on, Isabel? I'm taking the coward's way out. I'm giving myself a couple of extra days so I can get the perfect gift. Nothing much, Isabel. It's just gonna be, whatever anyone wants to talk about, any topics that want to be brought up, any questions anyone has, anything that anyone wants to throw out there. This is um platform for all. Although we know there's some people that dislike this platform, and that's perfectly okay. I don't hate you for it. 956 drama is taking a turn for the worst, and yes, it is. And I've been saying this for weeks. That's why I've kind of gone back to the shadows, kind of gone back into my little cave, and be like, you know what? Despite what I say, despite what advice I throw out there, despite what I predict, which is always right, every time I say, hey, there's going to be an arrest ends up happening. It's not insider information, it's just logic based on the way people are acting lately. Um, so, yeah, I mean, it's getting ugly. It has been getting ugly. It's a big melting pot of gossip and stalking and harassing and all this stuff. I mean, everyone everyone's an adult and everyone makes their own decisions, and sometimes you have to live with whatever decisions you make. And I'm not going to update you, computer. Come on, I'm trying to do a show. um I don't know, everyone likes calling the police for every little thing. Everyone likes seeing how far they could take things. Everyone likes running their mouth on things that could get them in trouble and continue to poke the bear. um and everyone by this point, everyone knows that Jaime has been arrested. Do I have any details? I know a little bit. I'm not supposed to say. It's just stuff that's been given to me, third, fourth party and stuff, and I usually don't go. Yes, Jaime did get arrested today. I don't know the details because usually when it's third or fourth party, I don't put a lot of stock into that unless I hear from someone who's actually involved, someone that's actually dealing with it right now. So all I know is he was arrested, he was picked up. Maybe he'll see a judge tomorrow. I have no idea. I haven't really talked to him lately. Um, not to say that we had a falling out, like we have no issues or anything. It's just I kind of wanted to take content one way, and he does his own thing, and everyone's allowed to do their own thing. Manny does his thing, Ophelia does her thing, Jaime does his thing, Frank does his thing, and everyone just that's the way it should kind of be. Like everyone's allowed to do what they want, and they should be left alone. But when keep us updated, I don't really have any updates. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if anyone else has a warrant on them. I don't know if anyone else is going to be picked up tomorrow, or um if there's anything going on. I hope not. I hope that I wonder who filed charges this time. Uh, I really, I really don't. I wish I knew. I would love to, share that information just to update people. But when I first saw, I think it was like on Normal Cheesky's lives posted, I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. Like they're usually like a source of, I don't want to say a source of information, but they usually have a little bit of research more than a lot of these smaller pages do when they make a post. So I was like, oh, maybe that is true. And then that's when I started getting inbox people who are close to. Am I bleeding? Sorry, I tasted iron. I was like, am I bleeding in my mouth? Like maybe I got smacked earlier and I didn't tell you all. Um, then I started getting a little bit of information from people who do know it, and they kind of gave me some stuff. I was like, okay, like I guess he is arrested based on him not going live, him not doing anything. So I mean, that's the only thing I could really confirm was I want to say it was a warrant. I don't think he was out doing anything bad. I with nowadays everyone's getting warrants put on them. I'm still waiting for mine because I want to frame it once I get my paperwork. But everyone's getting warrants put on them. That's more than likely what happened this time. And Devoted Crafter, I just think I think he meant that it's not fair that he goes to jail and the other one doesn't. This whole thing with the drama thing, it's never ending. So there might be. There we go with the little correction. I understood what you meant. The whole thing with this is it's going to be never ending. Uh, will we see other people arrested for the same stuff? Yes. Will it be this week? I don't think so. But eventually, I think it's going to be someone else getting arrested. Then a huge thing's going to happen, and then the other side's going to get arrested again, and it's going to continue happening until someone says, you know what, enough is enough. I am way beyond my years for dealing with drama and this kind of stuff. Let me get some serious lighting in here. Hold on. There we go. A little bit more serious here. It's going to be a while before like anyone decides like, hey, this is over. I'm done playing these games. I need to get on with this, and it shouldn't be about defending myself. It shouldn't be about that red was getting to me. I'm sorry. It shouldn't be about I'm defending myself or I'm avenging or I am protecting or I'm fighting back. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be like that. It should be. You know what? I'm gonna let this person run their mouth. They could get themselves in trouble, and I'm gonna step away. I said it before. I feel like a damn broken record on this, but it's just so much pride that everyone has to this. Everyone's prideful, and why? Like not to downplay anyone, but why make a big deal over some words thrown against you? Because that's how it all started. This is we're going to like the basic root of this problem was just people having disagreements, people talking about each other. And then from there, that's when it turned into, the stalking. That's when it turned into getting personal with people. That's where it turned into forming these factions of, well, we're known as this group and we're known as this group. And we don't like anyone in that group because people in this group don't like them. And a whole mob mentality rose up. But when you look at like where it all started, is it really worth it? Is it worth it to have these court costs? Is it worth it to have these arrests? Is it worth it to start getting this reputation for a YouTube check or a Cash App donation and stuff? I don't know how much anyone makes. I know how much I make. It's not a lot, which is why I don't put like a lot of stock into this. But I know everyone probably makes a lot more than me. I probably make the least amount. And you would think that by making the least amount, I would be the most saltiest, and I would be the one going after everyone. I would be the one attacking people, but I'm not because I understand. Hey, it's just YouTube. It's just a it's just a video. Like I don't need to be out there doing stuff like um I don't have it here. I was gonna have a little graphic here for you all, but I took it off. It shouldn't be worth it. Maybe if we were in high school, maybe even college years, like, yeah, let's have this burn book, or let's have um this little private group where we talk bad about other people, like real like mean girl high school status. That would make sense. I'll even give it to me. Like, I'm 31. I'll even give it to her like um maybe even like early 30s. It might make a little bit of sense. I mean, we uh, maybe it's my generation, but maybe it makes a little sense to for it to be like a young man's game. But it shouldn't be to where the youngest one out of all these, I call them micro influencers, because I don't even think anyone's allowed to use the term like influence. Like, yes, they influence their flock, they influence their followers, but the term influencer, the way it's used, is such a much grander term. Like, there's, I don't know, like, calling yourself an influencer, good for you. If that's what you want to call yourself, cool. I don't consider any of these people influencers. I don't consider myself an influencer. I don't consider anyone really. I think if you're an influencer, you're able to. I'm watching the comments. I'm sorry. I think if you're an influencer, you're able to actually sustain a real living off of it. Like, when you're able to actually say, my career, hey, what's going on, Yvette? When you're able to say, my career is influencing, I am an influencer, that means all your income comes from this. You're able to live a nice lifestyle based on just your videos. I'm not talking about donations. I'm not talking about monthly fees. I'm not talking about, like, the fan club or whatever it is. I'm talking about like straight, getting money from YouTube, getting brand deals, getting, all these kinds of benefits from what you create. I think that's when you're an influencer. Me, I still work a regular job, make videos on the side as a hobby. It's more hobby. Everyone's a hobbyist. I think that's what it is. It's a hobby because it's just, hey, I got a life. I'll make a video and stuff like that on the side. Um, why do they get riled up over opinions and comments though? It's because, I'm not being ageist or anything. I'm not attacking anyone for being old, but I think it is I honestly think it's an age thing because, I want to say back in the day, there wasn't as much communication and there wasn't as much way to get your voice and opinions out there. So a lot of people lived in very sheltered lifestyles to where they just had their circle, their inner circle, where they only heard what they wanted to. They didn't have conflicts or anything because it was just small. My generation and generation going on, that's when we had the internet. That's when we grew up with social media. So we grew up with trolls and fake accounts, and we grew up with, people talking trash over the internet and having these flame wars and having all these big issues that, to some people in the older generation, this is new to them. This is like, oh wow, this actually exists. This, I could talk whatever I want about these people under this fake name, and this is so cool. This is revolutionary. I've been doing this since I was in fifth grade when I first started getting. I don't know if you remember those like MSN chat rooms or those AOL chat rooms and stuff like that. So I think I've been able to adapt mentally and emotionally to be able to be like, okay, people are going to talk trash. I mean, I've done my fair share of trolling, people when I was growing up and having arguments online and stuff like that, but it just stays online. That's where it should stay. But now these older people are all like, holy shit, they're talking about me. Like, they're saying stuff about me. I need to retaliate. I need to attack them. I need to find out who they are. Let's go look at their family. Like, let's use this thing called the internet and like stalk these people. I think that's what it is. Mentally, they weren't able to adapt as quickly as the younger generation to accept criticism, to accept opinions different than ours, and people are losing their mind over it. Just my opinion right there. Um, none of them are influencers. Someone that goes live and sends everyone's mother to hell. Okay, That's the old school way. Yeah, it's the old school way, like, you insult me, so I'm gonna insult you. That's why the old school way was a lot of mama jokes and stuff like that. It was just ways to hurt people. It wasn't any real way to come to like a solution to any problems or anything. It was just, I'm right, you're wrong, let's fight about it. And that's the old way of mentality. There's still some younger youngsters that, do that now, but a majority of people know, like, okay, we're gonna disagree. We could either move on and be cool about it, or we could just completely ignore each other. I think the smartest thing to do is just ignore people. If you are a true leader, if you are setting the example, if you are, top of the food chain, then it shouldn't matter, and you shouldn't have to retaliate with every little thing that's said about you, because that just shows that it does bother you. If you're taking time out of your day to respond to it, to continue to cover it, to continue to talk about it, it's just showing that it gets to you. And the fact that you know about all this stuff, the fact that you continue to talk about all these things, but still continue to say, "Oh, I don't watch that," or "I don't pay attention to these people," or "They send me these things." Why watch it? If it's even if it's sent to you, why open it? Why continue to watch it if it is something that you made clear that you don't want to watch it? You don't not take any part in it. Everyone should just go their separate ways. Continue filing the charges everyone wants. Everyone's going to continue doing their charges because that's the only way they feel power in this whole situation, by calling, backup and having the police fight their battles because they can't do it one on one. But that's just my little piece of advice right there. Mm, yeah, there's a lot of. I lose track with all the pages. I know Medusa. I know Snakes and Backstabbers. I know Snakes and Backstabbers 2.0. I think Peach Pit had a 2.0. Is Peach Pit still around? Yeah. Rumor is, well, I'm gonna say Jaime was arrested for the exact reason. I don't know yet. I'm assuming it's a warrant. I don't know who put it. I don't know what it was for, but I'm just assuming it's a warrant because that's the thing everyone likes doing. Everyone likes filing charges and getting warrants issued. Oh, is this the R2D2? Where's my R2D2? I have one around here somewhere. I understand that someone wants to claim it was on self defense when they trash talk. Yeah, and I've said this for both sides. For both sides, you can't claim that you are a victim. You can't claim that you're being attacked. You can't claim that you are innocent if you've partaken in, if you've given a response, if you've if there's an established back and forth between you and somebody else, you're not innocent. If it's known, by putting these videos out, that's everyone's worst thing to do in this situation. By putting these videos, showing proof that you're responding to these people, you're sending these messages, you are maybe tongue-in-cheek kind of threatening people, or saying that you're going to go follow them, or saying that you're going to drive by their house, or saying that you're going to um go to a cemetery and hang out with their deceased ones, which is, I mean, in my opinion, not cool. That's just giving ammunition to the other side. And then the other side thinks that they're badass and that they have an ace up their sleeve. So they kind of like throw it out that, like, oh yeah, well, we already have this going. We have these wheels in motion. That's just going to piss off the other side. And then it's just going to be back and forth on who could take who down the quickest. Bu- 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 See, and I've said this too. I've said that no one should have gone after anyone's kids. Um, I've said that no one should go after like anyone deceased, any deceased relatives, especially because, I mean, they're not here to defend themselves, and if they're deceased, it's obvious that they have nothing to do with this. So I agree with that. If she said summer next, well, then I'll be here to talk about it when it happens. I mean, hopefully everyone kind of backs away a little bit. Everyone kind of takes a breather and realizes, holy shit, I have a record because I fought with someone online. Like, if I'm gonna have a record, let me fight someone like in person. Let me throw a couple of punches in. Like, I don't even have to win the fight, but let that be the reason why I get arrested, not because some person got butt hurt over some emojis and a joke I said online. Uh, why put charges? The charges are just so someone could say they won. We've seen it when Ophelia gets someone arrested or in trouble. She takes it as a win. When Jaime does it to Ophelia or someone else, he takes it as a win. It's all about winning. These platforms might have started off at one point as an outlet for them to just speak their mind, an outlet for them just to um, make connections with people, make new friends. Might have been, to stand for something. But I think now they're just outlets to be weaponized against each other, and that's a that's a big reason why, like, I don't comment as much. I don't get involved as much. Like, I'll talk about it, but I'll talk about it from an outside perspective. I won't talk about it as like, yeah, we're gonna go after this person next. We have this working. We have this on the back burner for this person. No, I don't talk about stuff like that because I don't get involved with stuff like that. Times where I've put into like group chats, I automatically exit myself out because group chats will burn you. If like you should always stay away from it, even if it's like extremely close friends. Like, I stay away. The only group chats I'm part of is the one with me, my wife, and my brother, where we just share memes and inside jokes. And then the one with me and my group of friends that I've had since high school. Those are the only group chats I'm a part of, and I keep it that way. Yes, I like knowing the information. Yes, I like knowing things, but I'll go straight to the source if I have a question for something. There's even been times where I need to ask like Norma Cheeske's Liza questions, and in the past I have messaged them just to see like, okay, is this true, or have you heard this, or is this thing gonna happen? And that's the way it should be. It should not just be a lot of hearsay because, hey, even if you go to court, hearsay is not accepted. Okay, you've heard it all the time. They'll object to hearsay if you throw out like, "Oh, well, this person told me this," or "I heard from this person." Hey, that's hearsay. It doesn't fly in court. So why are you going to go and risk your freedom for hearsay if you can't use it to defend yourself in the future? That's just my opinion there. Wasting tax people some money. Uh, Cecilia, you're sponsored by a bail bondsman, so I like, if I'm arrested, I'm gonna need your help with that too. Hey, what's going on, Kim? Ophelia Painter. If this is the real Ophelia Painter, I don't know. A lot of people like taking other people's identities. Um, yeah. Typical child behavior. Yes, it's the I'm gonna tell the teacher on you because I'm not getting my way with you. This is just the grown up adult uh, RGV 956 version of I'm gonna tell the teacher. There's always someone that has the videos. Yes, there is always someone that has the videos. I don't. I have clips, but I don't have the videos. That's my fault. Pale, you said you're next. KT has a question. Sorry, I'm not following the questions. I'm more rambling than anything. Let me see. I like that layout more with the questions. Uh, okay. The way I see this, And the way I think it would be treated is if a willing adult also commits in the background, are they guilty or not? If they could be tried as an adult, then they are guilty. Despite any mental status that they have, if they identify as an adult, if they are looked at as an adult, they could be tried as an adult. Just like, if a 14, 15-year-old kid commits a murder, he could be tried as an adult. Despite what and I don't want to get like into specifics with, mental handicaps or issues like that, but if they're able to, drive, if they're able to handle money, if they're able to speak, for themselves freely, if they're able to do these things that an adult is able to do, even if someone that, old teenager is able to do, like I said, 16, 17, 18, then that shows that they are capable to take responsibility for their actions. They are able to be tried, like I said, as an adult, if they're able to comprehend that, if they're able to know what they're doing and believe what they say instead of being puppeted, or instead of just, going along because they don't understand what's going on and it's like a show to them or anything like that, they can be tried as an adult. As soon as the bond is said, I have three attorneys on my side as well. Hey, I come from a family of attorneys and a family of like lawmen. Do I have? I don't have it. My great grandfather wrote a book about my family because, like, way descended, like way like when McAllen first became a city, my family was, the first judge. My family were like police officers in the area. My family, like, were there in the beginning, and he was able to trace everything back all the way from when they came from Ireland, because that's where that family comes from, is like Ireland. And we're able to like to trace like everything my family did. I'm even in the book as a child because it was like our family's legacy, and it's actually in libraries if you go look for it. So my family's has my back. I know I haven't done anything bad. I haven't gone after anyone the way um a lot of others have. So I don't think there's any reason for me to be in trouble. Like, I've called the police every time, a parent, every time like I'm supposed a report's going to be made on me, I call the police right away. I know how to talk to them. It's real chill. I've played the recordings where we're talking and laughing and stuff, even the Raymondville officers, and there's no issue. They continue to say you did nothing wrong. There's nothing to report. I didn't even take a case number because there was no report that's going to be made, and I'm not worried. I know how to handle my stuff, and that's something a lot of people need to figure out, is like how to see that line, like how to find that line and stay behind it without crossing it. And I think everyone would be doing a lot better. Those haters better leave my Ethiopia alone. The the charges, I have no idea what the charges are. I wish I did. Um, Maybe tomorrow I'll make a phone call to find out. I don't even know where he is. I heard it was like at a bridge. I heard it's in Brownsville. I heard it's in Harlingen. I've heard, that's why I don't go by hearsay, because I've heard so many different stories, and I don't want to believe the wrong one, give that information out, and then shoot myself in the foot by not being credible. I like having my ducks in a row before I give information out. I've always done that. Yeah, with Raymondville PD, and the way it is with a lot of small cities like that is, I don't know the officers. I don't know the officers. I've spoken to some of the dispatchers there because there's like I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say it about a secret group or anything like that. But I've spoken to some of the dispatchers. I've heard what they say. I've heard what they say when the phones are hung up, and basically, they don't have the manpower to chase every single phone call down, to investigate every single, this person said this about me, this person said this about me kind of thing. So a lot of them just give a little bit of advice and then move on to the next call. They don't they don't put too much time in it, because what it is yes, some people say they're threatened, that they're scared for their lives. Some people say that they're in fear for their life, but in the grand scope of everything that could happen to a person, arguing and being told things online is probably at the bottom of the list of what's important for a police officer to take care of. I don't think they should be wasting time. I know when I had an issue like this with the city of McAllen, we didn't want to be sending the police officers to the same house every single night because this person was having trolls, like dealing with trolls online. So what they ended up doing was they had an officer who would just call, take the report over the phone, because it wasted so much time to get a unit to the house, make contact, get the information, take off back to the station, report right, and then go back on the road. That took way too much time, so it was easier just to have the officer call her over the phone, get the information, do the report while they're on the phone, and then just move on. I think that's what should be done. Everyone's free to, make reports, to call the police if they have questions and stuff. I'm not taking that away from anyone. It's just you got to realize at some point it is not only a waste, I want to say abuse for anyone who just wants to call the police just to try and, show that they have a pair. Like, yeah, I'm going to call the police on you. You better be scared, kind of thing. Um, Calling saying, hey, this person's asking where I'm at, or this person's talking about me, or this person made fun of made fun of me, or this person's talking about my mother, this person's talking about my father, this person's talking about all these things. Like, do the words really hurt? Like, do the words really hurt you? Do they really bother you to where you need to go and complain to a police officer to make you feel better? That's my takeaway from it. I've had things said about me. I've had things, said about my family. I've had, old screenshots come up that weren't really anything. It was just people trying to dig and see if something like landed. But I'm like, okay, do I know this is untrue what they're saying? Yes. Does it bother me? Okay, a little bit. But I know it's not true. I know they're trying to get a rise out of me. I know they're trying to get some kind of response to continue this drama cycle that's going on. So I give them what they want. The best way to kill a troll is just to starve it. Don't give it what it wants, because they just feed off of the drama. They feed off of, oh, well, I'm going to wait for them to make a response so I could go live right after. Or taking notes while they're live. So like, okay, I'm going to respond to this. I'm going to laugh about with this part, and I'm going to talk about this part. It's a waste of time. Um, Let me see. And I'm not saying this is Raymondville PD, but generally, a lot of people who become police officers who either get in trouble in their cities and aren't allowed to be police officers in their cities anymore aren't as experienced and don't really care about the job. They just want the title of a police officer, or aren't trained well enough. They usually go to small cities like Raymondville, like Alton, like where did he go? I had a friend who was a licensed police officer for a couple of years, but he never went to like work as a police officer. He just wanted to say like, yeah, I could be a cop if I want to. He ended up going to Benitas. from like not being on the road, not being trained like for years, to yeah, the, they need officers beneath us. Go be a police officer over there. So in Ravenville, I feel it's a lot like that. Like maybe also retired officers who kind of want to just finish their years. So let me go to a city that doesn't have a lot of action, like Far, McAllen, or Brownsville. Like now, like I'll go to Raymondville. Like small population of what, 11,000. Cool, I got it. Like I could be an officer there. The requirement for being a police officer in those cities are also a lot smaller. Big cities, they have like their own police academy. McAllen has a police academy. I think Edinburgh's getting a police academy soon if they haven't already. So aside from going to school to be a police officer, you have to go and complete that city's, like you need to meet their requirements also and pass and become an officer with them. So it's like double schooling. A lot of people don't want to do it twice. So that's why they end up going to smaller cities that don't have that kind of prerequisite to, become an officer for the city. Mm. With this, something like that would have to be proven that it was a wasted resource, because there are people who die a lot when officers are on other calls, and it would be it would be very hard for them to prove like, oh, well, it's because this officer was at Ophelia's house, like she should be held. I don't think that could ever happen. Like I don't think she would be blamed for something like that unless she requested like a specific officer, and that specific officer was taken out of his district, since usually cities are broken off into like quadrants or districts, and he had to leave like his district to go take this report. So that district had no police presence in it, so something bad happened, then it probably could. But she doesn't ask for specific officers, she just says in general, like, can I have an officer in my house? She can't be held for something like that. Because I had one call where a little boy died because they didn't get to him quick enough, but it's because he lived his address was like kind of on the outskirts, and there was an officer sent to that district because it was so rare when we got calls. It was like in the boonies, it was in county line. So the city wasn't liable. It was still a sad situation, but they couldn't prove that it was like, oh well, the officer needed to be here. 6 months equal a badge, yeah. That's why I think for county you need to be a jailer for like a couple of months to learn, the system, learn the charges, learn how to deal with people, and then after that you could go out for the academy and stuff, which I think is awesome. I think, especially being like a dispatcher, I think officers need to do time in dispatch to know what our limits are. Like we could be told that someone's bleeding out, and we need to be able to talk to them, control the situation from a phone while they, get their asses to the scene. Yeah, and I agree. The audience, the fandom, will always be the death of something. Look at like Rick and Morty. Like if you want to look at like shows like that, so we don't have to talk about specific individuals right now. There's toxic fan bases, and fan bases will ruin the potential of how great something could be, because they will attack anyone who doesn't like what they like, because they feel that they are superior. Everyone has different tastes. Everyone thinks, like, there's people that like Coke over Pepsi, and there's some people that will die before they drink a Coke. Like it's just the fandoms on how attached people get, when people need to realize that these are just people behind the camera. These aren't idols. These aren't like, gods or idols or anything. It's just someone who decided, hey, I want to click this button that says go live on YouTube, and I'm going to start a YouTube channel. That's how we are. We don't need, like, yeah, you're only as strong as your audience, but you don't need your audience to be your personal army. Your audience should just be your audience. You should be there to entertain them, not to rally them in numbers to go against somebody else. Hey, that's awesome. A lot of my friends who I started dispatching with are now police officers, detectives. Um, there's some that have gone to DPS. A friend of mine, she left dispatch and she's working in border patrol and she's doing very well. And a few of my friends went to border patrol. Um, I think a friend of mine, she's trying to become a police officer here in Austin because she loves Austin. I mean, I love Austin, so that's great. But I'm sure your son could agree that being a dispatcher is pretty stressful because you have all these situations and you're in charge of getting the information to pass to the officer. So when the officer gets to the scene, about 90% of the time, he knows what's going on. He knows what the situation is. He knows what he's going into. When the phone rings for us, we have no idea what's going on. It could be someone complaining that their son doesn't want to go to school in the morning, or it could be someone saying that my husband's trying to kill me, or it could be my baby's not breathing. It could be one interesting call, and I'm glad it ended well. Was this 13-year-old girl called crying, saying that her brother's having a seizure, and I said, "Okay, where are you? Like, give me your address so I could send someone out there, and then I'll." You want the address first, so then you know where to start sending the officer, and you can update them as it's going. And she said she didn't know. I was like, "Are you at your house or where are you?" And she said, "My brother was driving and he's having a seizure and we're still driving, but he can't stop the car." So I started asking her like, "Okay, what are you passing by? Do you know what street you're on? Do you know which like way you're going?" She was going down 10th Street. If you know McAllen, 10th Street is a very busy street. That's like their main street. So I had to calm her down and then teach her how to use the e-brake and tell her to grab the wheel and if like safely move it to the side of the road and keep that car stopped and then turn off the car if you can. I had to update all that. I had to speak to her through that. I had to have her check on her brother afterwards. The cop knew what he was getting into. He was like, "Okay, guys, unable to drive the vehicle. 13-year-old sisters trying to stop the vehicle. They're going this way. They're at this location." They get all the information fed to them. Like it's our job to make sure they have that information. So it's pretty stressful. Yeah. Uh, I've had a disabled 3-year-old who choked himself because he was playing with the cord from the window blinds. I was gonna try and pull it, but I don't have a cord here. He was playing with it. He got tied up, and he ended up kind of hanging himself. And it was too late by the time the mom realized what was going on. That was the first time someone died on one of my calls. And you kind of have to be desensitized because you deal with a lot of people dying, a lot of people killing themselves. I had a husband who walked into his house and saw that his wife shot herself in the bathroom. And, trying to get information out of someone like that when they're going through probably the worst thing they could ever imagine, but you're still trying to, it's just another call to you. Like, as soon as you hang up, you're going to have to deal with something else. As soon as that call's over, a new one's coming in. So you do get kind of desensitized. You get a very dark sense of humor. I have a very, I don't share it. I share it with like my wife. I share it with like family members and friends that you have to have a real dark sense of humor to kind of get you through those things, to kind of get you over. You need to learn to laugh at things that normal people would find very wrong and disturbing, but it's the only way you can go because if you hang on to it, if you let it fester in you, it's going to ruin you. I've seen a lot of people who can't handle it, and after a month, 2 months, 3 months, they just quit because they can't take it because it's too morbid. It's too you see a very dark side of people in that kind of job. Yeah, it's struggling, especially the keyboards we use aren't these regular ones. They're like keyboards that are supposed to be better for our hands. So like the keyboard split into two and it's turned in. So like I'm typing like this, but I'm typing full words and everything. You need to learn shorthand and basically be able to type out like a paragraph within a few seconds. I was a dispatcher for many years. I've seen, Some of the crazy calls I've dealt with: shootings. I've dealt with officers being shot, officers being attacked, officers being jumped. I've dealt with robberies. I've dealt with being on the phone with a woman while her husband is beating her and hearing all the beating and all the gushing and all the crazy sounds you don't really think about when someone's getting their head caved in. Uh, Children dying. I've dealt with crazy police chases that turn into rollovers. Um, I've dealt with a lot of things. A lot of things. Um, yeah, they give you scripts when you first start out, but those scripts are very limited because not every call is the same. So as you go on, you learn how to like know what to look for. The first thing you always ask is address. Like that's the first thing you want. Like because the phone disconnects, you have the address. It's there for you. Um, Especially when it's someone on the phone saying they want to, unalive themselves, and they're already explaining to you how they're going to do it, and the only reason they called is so their body could be found and stuff like that. So I've dealt with that stuff too. And I'm feeling sick. I'm not. Well, it sounds like I'm crying, but like it's just very hard. Um, it's very hard to do. And when I got hired, I was hired with 6 people, and it was only me and one other girl that were able to make it past training. And then after training, more people leave, and it's a very thankless job because as a dispatcher, you work holidays. It's forced overtime on holidays because that's when people get real crazy. Like you got your Thanksgiving, you got your uncle that shows up and wants to fight over some girl that him and your father had a relationship with when they were teenagers. You have the crazy aunt who drinks too much around Christmas, so you don't really get to spend a lot of holidays. I missed a lot of like very big holidays. There's times where you can only have the day off if you find your own replacement for the day, and we're already working forced overtime. We're always short. So there's times where it was close to where I might have even missed my daughter's birthday party. We were always having to move things just so I can make them. So it's a very thankless job. It's a very hard job, but I loved it. I really loved it. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that. I've seen a lot of body cam footage. I've seen a lot of CSI photos. I've seen what it looks like when someone's on a motorcycle not wearing a helmet and they hit the pavement going at like 67 miles per hour. I've seen what that looks like. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff. I've seen someone who was stabbed 14 times in the torso. I've seen really weird things, and that's why I kind of need to be desensitized to stuff like that. Um, or Ophelia ever stop? I don't think anyone's gonna stop. Um, if arrests and court cases and stuff is gonna stop anyone, it's gonna have to be something a lot bigger. I don't want it to get to that point. I didn't even want it to get to the point where people were being arrested over talking online. It's just my opinion there. But I think I'm gonna wrap it up already. It's already 11 o'clock. I don't want to sound like a child, but I got some video games I want to play. I start work tomorrow for the next week, and I usually like having my Tuesdays just to myself, but I had a little bit of downtime, so I was like, hey, let me go live. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, and just wanted to voice it. So thank you all for joining me, hearing me ramble a little bit, and we'll see. I'll see you this weekend. I'll go live this weekend, and maybe we can have a part two and see where all the stuff from today ended up and where it's going. Um, Despite on however you feel, if you want to send out words of encouragement for Jaime, go for it. You shouldn't feel bad for someone you believe in. It's just you need to watch how far you're willing to go for someone you believe in. And I hope everyone else stays out of prison. I hope no one. I hope this doesn't turn into like an assault thing. I feel like it is. I sense it. We've already seen assaults happen with all this stuff. So I don't think it's out of the realm of something that might happen. I'm just saying I hope it doesn't. Um, Fellow painter, if you're still here, you could call in and we could have a quick couple of minutes before I sign off. If you have anything you want to say, anything you want to share, you probably have some more information than I do about this stuff. You're a lot closer to Jaime. Um, if you're willing to, no pressure. If you don't want to, I get it. I'll just leave that window open for the next couple of minutes, just in case you want to. Uh, if not, I could finish my drink and then go. How is out tomorrow? Probably. The things that have been going on with this drama thing isn't anything that would not. Um, I mean, I don't think there's really anything to prevent like bail or anything like that. I don't know what the charge is. I want to say it's harassment since that's everyone's favorite thing. And really, that's the only thing anyone could have unless he was stalking someone or I don't know. Maybe he got in a fight and he was, having a street brawl with people. I don't know what's going on, but my opinion is he probably will be able to get bail tomorrow, or answer to a judge and see what the judge says. I mean, that's what he's probably waiting for. But I guess we could wrap it up now. I really only wanted to do like 15 minutes, but you get me talking about myself, I'll get sidetracked, and I went off on dispatching for like an extra 15 minutes that I didn't intend on it. But hey, thank you all for stopping by. Welcome to subscribe. Welcome to message me any opinions, any topics for shows. I usually keep that open, and a lot of my shows have been just pure recommendations from you all. So, y'all take care.